Yo, what's up, folks? I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Revan. Star Wars Legends novel Revan. It's part of the Old Republic series. There's 4 books in the series. There's this one, there's Annihilation, Fatal Alliance, Deceived. I got them all right here. If you saw my book haul from last month, you saw that I bought these 4 Old Republic books. My guilty pleasure is the Star Wars Legends novels. But here's the thing, folks. The only ones I've collected so far are the ones from Star Wars A New Hope and onward. I mean, I like to follow the story of the Skywalkers, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewbacca, R2-D2, C-3PO, Lando, Boba Fett. I wanted to follow that story. I never have read any of the prequels. Not any of them. So I thought I would give them a go. So I bought these 4 Old Republic books, mainly because I really thought the covers were great. I mean, this book here is by Drew Karpyshyn, I think the name is. And look at that cover. We always review the cover artwork of the novels first off. And this cover is dynamite. I love the Sith Lord with the lightsaber, and I love the graphic design and typeface. It's a great, great cover. And the other 3 books in the Old Republic series have equally as good of covers. Don't know who the artist is. It just says cover design and illustration by Lucas Arts, which leads me to believe a couple things. That it's probably just some artwork that they took off of a video game? I don't know. We're going to get into that because this novel confused the crap out of me. I'm going to be straight up honest. Yes, it was nice to launch into a Star Wars novel that wasn't about Luke and Leia and Han Solo and their children and the Jedi stuff. It was nice to launch into a Star Wars novel that had all new characters and all new situations. But I was confused from the get-go. And we need to discuss this, and I need your comments in the comment section because I think I'm missing something. I think I'm missing something, and I think it has to do with even this cover being like a still from the video game or something like that. That's why it's not accredited to just one illustrator. It's accredited to Lucas Arts. I got to reading this book, and let me read the setup for you because the setup is fantastic. Let me read the back cover of this, and you tell me if this doesn't just sound like the most awesome story ever, right? Hero, traitor, conqueror, villain, savior. The man called Revan has been all of these. He left Coruscant as a Jedi on a mission to defeat the Mandalorians. He returned a Sith disciple, bent on destroying the Republic. The Jedi Council gave Revan his life back, but the price of redemption was the loss of his memories. All that's left are nightmares and deep, abiding fear. What happened beyond the outer rim that Revan can't quite remember or entirely forget? One thing he's certain of, something dark is plotting to destroy the very existence of the Republic. Why wasn't this story about that? That's the entire back cover. Sounds like an awesome story. It's not about that, though. That's the backstory. That's who we launch into this book after all. It seems like we launch into this book after all of the cool things have happened. Fighting against the Mandalorians, turning from a Jedi to a Sith Lord, being turned back, having his memories wiped. All these things. And then in the first 20 pages, we get an even more detailed description of all that happened to him in his life before. And I'm thinking to myself, why doesn't somebody write a story about that? Because that would be a great trilogy. That's awesome. What is this book doing here? And then I got to thinking, I'm missing something. Something is not quite connecting in my head. So I'm thinking to myself, the cover art is not credited to one singular illustrator. It looks like it's just a freeze frame still out of a very cool video game. And now I'm thinking, maybe this story that they're talking about, that Revan's backstory, was that the plot of the video game, The Old Republic? I've never played video games. I'm not a video game person. I know nothing about them. Wouldn't even know how to turn a video game on or hook it up to my TV or even use the joystick. If they even call it that anymore. I don't even know what they call the little video game. I don't know what that is. I wouldn't be able to use it. I would be the most worst, awful video game player ever. In fact, someone brought Skyrim to my house once and said, "You'd love this game." And I played it for about 5 minutes. And the person watching me play it got so frustrated with watching me play it that she just got up and left the house. She's like, "Swing your sword at him, swing." And I'm like, I am. And she said, "No, you're facing the wall of the cavern. You're not doing anything." And I'm like, "I'm swinging my sword." She's like, "No, you've fallen into a crevice." And I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing." So if the backstory to this Revan book was part of this video game that I've never played, I think that's what I'm missing, but I don't know for sure. This is just my guess. So people out there, tell me, let me know. Is there a comic book where all of this cool stuff happened? Is there a video game where all of this cool stuff happened? All this backstory seems like it would be one of the most awesome stories and novels and trilogies ever written in the Star Wars universe, but I didn't read it here. Because this book starts out telling us about all the cool things that happened to Revan, and then kind of all that's over, and now he's just kind of wandering around going, "Well, what happened? What happened?" You know, he goes to the Jedi archives and starts looking things up to figure out, well, what happened? My girlfriend Bastira. There's a mystery. He's married to this, but he's got a dark history with her. He can't figure that out. He's just it's like he's trying to figure out what happened in his past. Meanwhile, we've got a more interesting character in Scourge, kind of the bad guy of the book, Scourge. His storyline, which is actually more interesting than Revan's storyline. And I found myself actually more interested in the bad guy and his things than I did in actually Revan. For the first half of the book, okay? So that's my complaints for the first half of the book. The first 20 to 30, the back cover, the first 20 to 30 pages, give a description of Revan's really cool past, which is the story I really want to read. But we don't get to read that because then we launch into Revan kind of trying to figure out who he is because he's got a memory wipe, and then we got this bad guy. But then about halfway through the book, the action starts to ramp up, things start to take place, and then I was satisfied with the story. So I'm not like trying to say that I didn't like this book. I was just mystified, and I knew that I was missing something. I knew that something was not connecting. There's a comic book, a video game, I don't know what it is out there, that's probably got the actual backstory of Revan in it somewhere, because that seems to be the story that needs to be told of this Revan. And maybe this book here was printed kind of as a something to satisfy the Old Republic fans. Was Old Republic a comic book or a video game? I'm thinking it was a video game, but I don't know. It wasn't that cartoon show, right? Because that was called The Clone Wars. The cartoon show was The Clone Wars. Okay, so I'm lost, folks. You got to help me out in the comments. Where is the story of Revan? Because this is just a small part of Revan's story towards the tail end of his adventures. And it was good, like I said. It ramped up, the action ramped up, and things started to happen about halfway through that I was satisfied with, and it became a really good book at that point. I'm just missing the first part. I wanted to read I wanted to read about him defeating the Mandalorians and becoming a Sith disciple and destroying the Republic and losing his memory. I wanted to read that. That sounds like a better story than this one, even though this one was all right. So, for my first launch into Star Wars legends that don't involve the Skywalker clan, Revan gets a frustrating 6.5 because it was better than average novel, but I still like these other Star Wars Legends novels. Never. So I'm going to read the next one in the series, which I think is Old Republic Deceived. I think that might be the next one, and we'll see how that story goes. We'll see if I don't know. I don't know. This was all right though. I love these are gonna become a part of my permanent collection. And you know I only keep books that are parts of my permanent collection if I really did enjoy them, and I did ultimately enjoy this to the tune of a 6.5 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? So hey, people that you all that have read it, let me know what it is that I am not getting. All right?